Hello, English learners, and welcome back to the Level Up English YouTube channel. My name is Michael, and today I am at home and I'm going to be talking all about how to study without getting distracted. And now, this came to my mind when a friend recently asked me, because I think this applies not only to language learning or English learning, but also working from home, which my friend is doing these days. But I know many other people are doing now as well. It's becoming much more common to work from home. So whether you are working from home or you're just learning English from home, I think this video might be useful for you. And I think I'm a fairly good person to ask about this because I have been working from home for many, many years. I like to say long before it was cool, long before the pandemic, I was working at home and I've learnt the hard way how to deal with distractions, how to stay focused, and how to do my work. So today I'm going to cover 8 pieces of advice to help you work more efficiently at home while still having fun but avoiding distractions. Some of them are going to be practical tips that you can follow. Some of them are going to be more like mindset tips because there's a little bit of both that I think you need to do. But the first one I have for you is to make your study place sacred. What I mean by sacred is make it special. If possible, have one place in which you study or you work. This is a place where your mind will have a connection with that place. So when you're there, you will be thinking about, important things and useful things, and it will be harder to get distracted. One example, sorry to my friend to mention this, but she said to me that she sometimes does her work while sitting in bed on her laptop. And I know this is really tempting to do, but it's a really, really bad thing for your brain because your brain will associate your bed with sleep mostly, right? So it's not good for your focus, and it's also not good for your sleep because when you go to sleep, your brain might be thinking about work things now. So for me, for example, where I'm sitting now, this is my work area. When I'm in this spot, I do my work. If I want to relax, I go to the other side of the room. I've got a sofa, a different chair to sit on. So your brain has these connections with different places. Another kind of side tip I'd mention here is to dress the part, to dress up, right? So many people think just because I'm working or studying from home, I don't have to dress smart. But in my own experience, I think it really does make a big difference when you put on some trousers, you put on, maybe not some shoes, but you put on a shirt that you feel good in. You don't wear your pajamas, you don't wear your dressing gown. Wear some clothes that you would be comfortable wearing outside as well. And I think that has a slight effect on your brain and it makes you kind of think in a more kind of awake and alert way. But give it a go yourself, try it and let me know if it works for you. The second tip to avoid distractions is one of the biggest ones, and it's just making sure there are not so many distractions near you. And this may seem obvious, but many people don't do this. So one example is putting your phone in another room. It's very easy to pick up your phone when it's right here. Leave it in the kitchen, leave it in your bedroom. Don't have it next to you, and it will be so much easier to focus without your phone. You might notice you go to grab your invisible phone once or twice, but when you realize it's not there, you'll remember why it's not there. You go, oh yes, I should be working now. There's one little thing you can do. Another thing is turn off notifications on your phone. I did this a few weeks ago and it has changed my life. I get no more notifications when I get messages or emails. I only see them when I check them. And it has made my life a lot more peaceful. So I recommend that one personally, but give it a go yourself. The next tip is more of a mindset one. And this one is to actually enjoy what you're doing. One of the biggest reasons we get distracted and we do other things when we should be studying, we should be working, whatever it is because we think about something else to do that seems more fun than what we're currently doing, right? I mean, have you ever had that feeling when you are meant to be doing homework, you're meant to be studying, And then the next thing you know, you're cleaning your bedroom. It's the weirdest thing. It's a nice thing to do to clean your bedroom, but the reason we're doing that is because actually cleaning your room in that moment seems more enjoyable than what you're trying to do. And I think that's a big problem because, especially when it comes to learning a language, you can actually learn it in the way that you want. It doesn't have to be boring. So make it fun, make it interesting. I've got other videos on this channel that talk about making it fun. But make the learning process as fun as you can possibly make it. It's still a great way to learn. It's an even better way to learn, in fact. And you're much less likely to get distracted. The more fun the study, the less you will get distracted. The next tip is another practical one about your environment. And this is have a clean and tidy and organized environment. I think this makes a huge difference. And again, this may just be me, but I have a feeling that many people will agree with me. Do an experiment if you like. Wake up in the morning and don't make your bed sheets. Leave your bed messy and kind of notice how it makes you feel when you're in that room. Then, a few minutes later, you can make the bed, make it tidy and neat, make the whole room look really beautiful, and see how that makes you feel. And probably, if you're really, really paying attention, you will notice you feel calmer and more relaxed when your bed has been made. The same goes for your office as well, or wherever you do your work. Just keep your table tidy, try to keep papers off your desk, put it away, keep things organized and clean, and this will reflect your mind. I think for most people, if your study area is tidy, your mind will be tidy, and therefore you can focus more easily as well. My next tip is to use noise cancelling headphones. In fact, I can barely hear you, so I'll take it off. Use noise cancelling headphones. So this is a great pair that I got a year or so ago, and they have been so incredible because I am very sensitive to sound. And if you're like me and you get annoyed with noisy neighbors or construction or traffic or even birds outside, then these will save your life. They really will make a huge difference. Put them on. You don't even have to play any music, but they will just block out a lot of that annoying sound, and it will make it much easier to focus on your studies. Okay, another big tip. This is tip number 6 now, and this is something I talk about all the time, which is make it into a habit. Don't just study or work when you have the urge to do so. Don't do it when you feel motivated. It has to be a habit, right? I'll try to give you an example. If I say at 1 o'clock every day, I could either do 2 things depending on my mood. I could do some work, or I could play some video games. The chances are every day I'm going to feel more motivated to play some video games, right? Because it seems a lot more fun. Now, I've made that habit to do one of the 2 things, but the brain is a lazy thing and you'll do the easiest and most enjoyable one in the moment. However, I do not do this. I say at this time every day, for me it's like 6 in the morning, very early. This is my study time. I have never ever played video games at 6 in the morning. So the idea doesn't even come into my head. It's not even a possibility. I always study at that time. It took a few weeks to build that habit, but once I got it, now I never think about anything else. So when it comes to 6 o'clock in the morning, I sit down and study, and it's not even something I have to think about. It's as automatic as brushing my teeth, putting on my shoes, or locking my front door. It's something like that. So make it into a habit, and there'll be no other option in your head of something else to do. Tip number 7 is a simple one, and this is multitasking just doesn't work. This may depend on your job, but especially when it comes to learning a language, multitasking has been shown that it just isn't effective. For men or for women, it just doesn't really work. And I am guilty of this. When I feel a little bit under the weather, when I have low energy, I will often, do my vocabulary practice in my language learning while on YouTube, while looking at my emails or something like that. But then if you ask me 5 minutes later, like, hey, Michael, what was that word you just learnt? I wouldn't be able to tell you. I was vaguely aware, but but I don't remember it consciously. So this is really important. You really need to give your full attention to your studies. I do as well, because otherwise you're really just wasting your time. You're not learning as efficiently as you could be. In fact, it would be much better if you could just do all your studies quickly, and then you'll have time to watch YouTube or check your emails or whatever it is. So avoid multitasking. That is another good habit to get into. My final tip, tip number 8, is similar to a previous one I mentioned, and this is to schedule in fun stuff. So not to say that your studying shouldn't be fun, as I said before, it should be, but make sure you have some breaks and some rewards scheduled into your routine. So once again, if you have a full day and you say, before the end of the day, I want to finish these tasks. I want to do my vocabulary practice. I want to do some reading and some listening. There's really no structure there, and it's going to be really hard to do those things when you've got all these options in your head, right? For me, for example, I only allow myself to play video games after 6 p.m. So basically only in the evening do I play video games. And in fact, I go even further than that and I say I'm not allowed to do any work in the evening. So this creates a really clear boundary in my mind between study work time and fun time. Right? Again, I'm not saying your study and work shouldn't be fun, but let's say recreational time. It's a little bit different. And having these boundaries is really, really effective for your mind because your mind likes to separate things into chunks, right? So you've got this work time, this study time, and this fun time, this recreation time. If you do this properly after a few weeks, when you are studying, the thought of playing video games will not even come into your head. And vice versa is true as well. When you're playing video games, the thought of studying or working will not come into your head, and you can relax more deeply and fully, right? And of course, video games is just my example. I'm kind of see it right over there, so that's why it's on my mind. But maybe it's something different for you. Maybe it's reading or knitting or walking, right? Whatever it is for you. So those were my 8 tips on how to study or work more efficiently without getting distracted. Let me know in the comments which was your favorite one and if there were any new ones that you will be implementing into your life. If you follow these rules, these tips, these pieces of advice, then I really, really think that you're going to save a lot of time, you're going to be studying more efficiently and have more time to relax later. And I really think it's the best way to learn a language and just live a better life. Come on, that's what I'm all about here. So I hope you found it useful. Thank you for watching this video. And until next time, have a great week and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.